Hey everybody, how you doing? In recent months, people have been asking me when I'm going to get back to doing solo Beatle album reviews. A lot of people are interested in them, and I really appreciate the interest. For a while, I was really getting them on a run. I was really into it and doing a lot of them together. And then I just kind of had it peter out on me, and I just lost interest for a while. And I can guarantee you I'll get back to them again. Exactly when, can't tell you that. But I hope this will suffice. This is a solo Beatle album review, and it's a brand new album by Ringo Starr, and it's this one. It's called Postcards from Paradise. I love the title. I also enjoy the cover of this album. It has Ringo here for once not going around with his peace sign all the time, which was really nice for a while, but now it's kind of like getting a little played out. Always respect Ringo in recent years, ever since 1988 when he got himself all sobered up, and ever since then he's been looking good, eating good, not using and abusing, and he's been out there playing with a lot of different bands, a lot of different people, realizing his prominence and importance as a musician, and releasing steady albums for the most part. I mean, the last one was Ringo 2012. That was in 2012, 3 years ago. By the way, this album is not officially released today yet. I got an early copy, but it comes out tomorrow, the 31st, officially, and it's not yet on vinyl. I would be glad to show the vinyl if I'd had it, but I went and got the CD first. I'll get the vinyl whenever it comes out. I don't know the date on that. It's gonna follow at some point. Well, I will say that when you have a new album like this, it's kind of unfair, in my opinion, to really give it its fair due, because it's brand new and you haven't had a chance to really let it resonate with you and sink in there. A lot of times albums get a lot better or a lot worse depending if you listen to them enough. I've played this album about twice in its entirety now. I got a good feel for it, and my opinion may change one way or the other on it, but the initial opinion is that this is, again, what I like to call many times a good, solid Ringo record. It's nothing great. I'm really waiting for the day when Ringo can put something out, that will really blow people away and maybe get to the top 5 of the charts or something like that. And I always think that, as a lot of fans have said, that Ringo, if you're listening, maybe go back to your country albums that you did with Bukus of Blues back in 1970, because you have a good voice for that. I think you'd do good with a country album. I don't know what it would take for Ringo to have a hit. I don't know, if it can be done. Don't like seeing Ringo in concert when he downplays how many people bought his album, And the main thing is that he's out there, he's doing it, and I've always felt that Ringo is Ringo. He's not John, Paul, or George. He's just was Ringo, and for a guy that's the fourth guy in the band, so to speak, he's done a lot of good work, and some consistently good songs on his last several albums in the last several years. Well, anyway, let's get into the album itself, what limited amount of time I've heard it so far. It starts out with a track called Rory and the Hurricanes, which of course harks back to Ringo's early days with his band Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, and before he was with the Beatles, and Ringo was kind of a professional there. In those days on the drums. Even John Lennon said Ringo was a professional. We were amateurs when they discovered him, or when they met him as a friend. I'm going to take the inside out here. Not much to see here as far as the disc design or the back, really. Nothing special. Ringo has written every song on this album with somebody else, but Ringo at least wrote some of it. This one, Rory and the Hurricanes, is written by Ringo and Dave Stewart. And it's a good opener, perfect choice for an album opener. Really moves along, bops along nice, and got a lot of fun energy to it. At first I thought it was a little cheesy because there's some female singers on here, which comes in a few songs on this album, and they kind of repeat the title, Rory and the Hurricanes, in the background. Kind of a little silly at first listen, but I came to quickly like the song, and by the second listen, I mean, it's one of my favorite tracks on here, and as I say, a strong opener. Ringo's done things like this a lot, with Liverpool 8 that he put out, certain songs about Liverpool in his early days. He seems to go back to these familiar themes. We'll get into that later, the idea of Ringo repeating his ideas over and over again. Second track on here is You Bring the Party Down. You Bring the Party Down, written by Ringo and Steve Lukather. It's a little heavier. It's a good second track on the album. Nothing, outstanding or anything, but it's a nice second track, and it's got a little heavier sound to it. I enjoy it. I think this album flows pretty nicely. Third song is written by Ringo and Joe Walsh, and it's a slower song called Bridges. And some of the lyrics of these songs are really nice. I mean, this one talks about how each and every road is filled with choices. You have to decide which way to go. You can stay where you're at, turn around and go back, or take a chance on what's ahead. You'll never know. And the idea that every path you take, you come to a bridge, and whether you can cross over or not. It's a nice song. I like the lyrics. I like the mood of the song. Slower, but nice. Taking the booklet here. Then we come to the first single, the fourth track, and the title song, Postcards from Paradise, written by Richard Starkey, Ringo, and Todd Rundgren, which I didn't know up until I got the CD. Now, a lot of people so far already in the Beatles fan circles and websites are commenting on this song. Some like it, some not so much. Everybody, myself included, especially at the beginning, are criticizing the lyrics because Ringo, for a while now, has had a routine of what we call name checking. He name checks songs, his own solo songs. He mentions Back Off Boogaloo. He mentions It Don't Come Easy. Here he mentions a lot of Beatle titles. The entire lyrics consist of Ringo giving titles from Beatles songs. In fact, I think I read in somewhere that what Ringo did was he put a whole bunch of Beatle titles on the song, and I think Todd Rundgren put it into some kind of a sequencing of lyrics. At first listening to it, you think, oh, come on, Ringo, what are you doing? You're doing this again. This is like the ultimate in Ringo name-checking Beatles songs. But to make a whole song of it, it is really incredible. I mean, let me just give you an example for those who haven't heard it yet. It says, I searched here, there, and everywhere until I saw you standing there. I am the greatest fan of you, and love is all I've got to do. It's all too much, my little child. If you would be my honey pie, 8 days a week you will be mine and getting better all the time. Well, you get an idea. So this is anybody who doesn't like Ringo name checking. And it was very, very cool in the beginning. I mean, on the Stop and Smell the Roses album, he did something called a Back Off Boogaloo reprise, where he kind of like named all these Beatles songs, name checked them all. Don't Go Where the Road Don't Go. That song he named It Don't Come Easy. There's a song he did in tribute to George, and Never Without You. Never Without You has a lot of Beatles lyrics in it, Beatles song titles and George song titles in tribute to George. He's doing the same thing here. I would call it, Uber name checking, really going all out. I've come to the point that I love the song. It's gotten to the point where I got over the initial Ringo, you have to do that? Because it actually fits the idea of the song, Postcards from Paradise, and going back to the past and talking about all these things. And I gotta say, the chorus itself, I really love. The chorus that sings, and I won't sing it, Postcards from Paradise, that they refer to back and forth, that chorus, that's my favorite part of the song. I mean, I just like the feel of it. I really like the song a lot. I've gotten over the lyrics, song titles, and it's good. The next track is written by Ringo and Richard Marx, and it's called Right Side of the Road. I like this song too. So far we've got every song going right through that I like, to varying degrees, and the lyrics are good too. I don't have much to say about it. I know I like it. I just like the tune. The next song is called Not Looking Back. It's another song by Ringo and Richard Marx, and I know my girlfriend really liked this a lot. It's more of a ballad, a slower song. Got some really nice lyrics in it, and when my girlfriend found out that Richard Marx did it, she said, "Oh, no wonder I like the song. She likes Richard Marx." It's just really good. Memory after memory runs through my mind. You're still in every picture after all this time. Where will we go from here? Still together after all these years. It's about looking to the future, not looking back so much on the past. You know, the basic theme, nothing, you know, nothing really new, but it's a good song. So far, we're really batting 1,000. Next one is written by Ringo and Van Dyke Parks. It's called Bambula. Bambula, you know. I like the song. It's a lot of fun. You know, again, I haven't heard it enough yet. You know, it's just a fun kind of song. I don't know what else to say. I know I'm just squirming for words here. I like it. Next song is Island in the Sun, another song that I think is pretty good. But at this point, I think the record is starting to go down a little bit. This is just my first impressions. Island in the Sun, written by Ringo and the All-Stars. So he had input from Richard Page, I can't read him, Greg Rowley, Todd Rundgren, Steve Lukather, Warren Ham, and Greg Bissonette. Sorry. I like that song too. It's not one of my favorites. From this point on, for me, the album is starting to go a little down. I kind of like the first 6 songs very much, and then it's 11 songs on here, and the other 5 a little less so. Again, at this early stage in discovering the album. Touch and Go, written by Richard Starkey, Ringo, and Gary Burr. It's a good song. It's okay, but not much to say at this early point. Confirmation might be one of my least favorite songs. Probably the least favorite song on the album, written by Richard Starkey and Glenn Ballard. Again, it's got those female singers in the back, and I've got nothing against female background singers, God knows, and I love the 70s sound, but it's just weird. That song Confirmation sounds a lot like an old 70s track with the girls in the back, you know, almost sounding like gospel-y singers singing confirmation, confirmation. You know, they confirm the word confirmation. Not one of my favorite tracks, not terrible. I don't think there's any song on here that's bad, but Confirmation is my least favorite. The last song, I think, is called Let Love Lead. Let Love Lead, written by Ringo and Gary Nicholson. And it's a little more up-tempo number, catchy and pleasant enough. Now, as I was going through this review and talking about it, I realized that, you know, I really do think it's a pretty good album. Again, I think we have the situation where I fear that it's going to be another album that's just come and goes from Ringo. Not many people are going to notice it. I hope it charts. I mean, I think that the last highest chart position that Ringo had was in 2010 with the Why Not album, which I believe made number 58 on Billboard's 200, which for Ringo is amazing. The fact that it gets on at all, and especially in the top 100, is pretty good. I don't know what to expect out of this. As I say, I'm thinking it's just, unfortunately, just going to come and go. Ringo deserves a little better. He's going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on April 18th, and maybe that induction and people giving him the attention for that will give this some legs or whatever. Good luck, Ringo, and everybody, thanks so much for watching this video.